Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Confident Parenting Podcast. My name is Julie Fernandes. If this is the first time that you're seeing me, I'm an occupational therapist and a mom of 3 little ones. And today I'm going to talk about how I feel like I've cracked the code for gifts, which is going to become very topical over the next couple of months as we enter Q4 of 2024 and the hype and the consumerism and just all the things that everybody's going to be pushing at you to spend your precious money on. So I want to give you my philosophy and approach, at least how it's worked for me now after 9 years of having kids, and what I feel like seems to be like a happy medium. But yeah, so we're going to talk about Halloween and candy, which, I have a love-hate relationship with that. We're going to talk about birthdays, and we're going to talk about Christmas time or holiday time, depending on whatever you celebrate. So as I'm filming this now, it is October, beginning of October, and the Halloween stuff is out with a vengeance, and we've started decorating our house a little bit. The neighborhood is getting festive, and it's really fun. And obviously it's culminating at the end of October when everyone goes trick-or-treating. And what do we do then? So I have spoken about this, throughout the years, but I do not like all of the candy that the kids get, but I don't want to take away that experience of trick-or-treating. It's fun for them. And for me to deprive them of that, I don't have a strong enough reason not to do that. That being said, I don't feel like they need to eat all of that food. Candy, it's not food, let's be honest, it's chemicals, and it's just too much. It's too much, especially I worry about my 3-year-old. I worry about her teeth. She has no off button. She loves sweet things, and I'm concerned that if I don't intervene in some shape or form, we're going to have some very ill children. And just some, I just don't think it's a good standard to set that we just let our kids eat this crap. Plus, when people are handing out Halloween candy, especially because there's so much that you require, you're not going to buy like high quality sweets and chocolates and things. You're going to buy the cheapest stuff that you can buy in bulk bags. There's like bubble gum in there, which I don't want, especially my 3-year-old to be eating. Tons of lollipops. It's just out of control. Never mind that we're bringing all that stuff into our house and then I'm tempted to eat it because even though I know it's bad for me and it's full of chemicals and it does not look in any shape or form natural, I know what it tastes like. It's delicious and I don't like depriving myself of things either, but let's be real. Like this is not a healthy thing. Like a couple of pieces, that's fine, but not the amount that these kids are going to have. So I want to discuss some of the things that I have implemented and that I've already started telling them about. And this might change, but I'd be very curious to hear what you guys do or how you handle it, or maybe it's not a thing for you. So here we go. Basically, I've been told. So we moved into our house exactly a year ago, almost, and we bought our house. We didn't move in until this year. So we missed Halloween. We weren't here, but we've been told that our street is like the street to be on for Halloween. They shut it off, like they close it down so people can't drive. It's like the place to be, which is so fun and exciting. And we've also been told by the neighbors that we need 5 pounds of candy. That's a lot. If you're on the metric system, that's like 3 kilograms of sweets. That's a lot. And I bought bags from Costco because that's what you do, and it doesn't even look, it's 5 pounds. I don't know. I hope it's going to be enough. I guess once you run out, you run out. But anyway, so now imagine everybody doing this, and people are super generous a lot of the time. Like it's going to be out of control. So there's a few things that I do to approach Halloween. The first thing is, if you're going to manage this for your children, I get smaller containers, like baskets. So I have, if you're watching on YouTube, I have one of these. I bought these. This is like a new thing. I just thought it was so cute that we can do going forward. It looks like a witch's skirt. That's kind of what it reminds me of, a cauldron but it looks like a skirt. My daughter actually thought she wasn't supposed to see it, but she saw it. She thought it was an actual skirt. She wanted to wear it. But it's not that big. It's quite a small little bucket, right? Obviously, you can get giant buckets. So like once we're done. We're filled up. But that's still a ton of candy. So I've gone through various things over the years. What I've done in the past is that I've had a Halloween shop where they can use candy as currency and they can buy things from the shop. Now they're getting a little bit older and they like really want the candy. So either I have to now spend a lot of money on the shop, populating my shop of things to make it really enticing, or I have to come to some kind of compromise, because we have Halloween, then we have my daughter's birthday in November, and then we have Christmas. Like it's a lot of things. And they're getting stuff all throughout the year as well. Like, we'll get onto that, but it's not just for their birthday, because they need things all the time. So I just feel like I'm constantly buying them kind of gifts. Some of the things they need and some of them are gifts, but it's just too much. It's excessive. So what I've come up with, at least for this year, because I did a shop last year and they bought a couple of things, but they gave me all their candy, but they don't like doing that because they want some. I let them choose for whatever their age, that's how many pieces they could have. So my daughter was 6, she got 6 pieces. My son was 8, he got 8 pieces, something like that. Sometimes I threw in a little bit extra. Okay, fine. So then this year, and then my little one was only 2. So I don't know, I can't remember exactly what we did with her, but I could control it better. Now she's a beast. And she's going to be throwing tantrums left, right, and center. And I understand that. I expect that. But I also need to come up with some kind of compromise, because if she can't be managed to eat, she struggles to keep her candy for another time, right? This was part of her age. The other ones are also going to lose out. So I have to figure this out. But what I've done this year, I'm going to show you if you're watching on video, is I've created a little basket. I have put a few little gifts. So these are just little Legos that I bought. Lego, there's another one. I wrapped it up all silly because it's Halloween, so I feel like I can get away with it. So I've done that. I've put a few bath bombs in here. And then here's another bath bomb. I bought a whole bunch of healthier candy, whatever that is. It's still got sugar in it, but I think in terms of food dyes, I think it's better. So it's a lot less sugar. I bought a whole lot of Smart Sweets. These are the Swedish Fish knockoffs. I bought a bunch of lollipops, because it's also the quantity that I have to sort of match. A bunch of these little gummy sweets. And I bought some of the chocolate, and I've kind of eaten some of it. The healthier almond, they're Reese's peanut butter cups, but they're almond with the chocolate, and they actually taste better. Honestly, they taste better than the traditional, I think. They taste like real chocolate versus just this sweetened brown mush. Anyway, so I am going to use my bin of lollipops and gummy sweets and whatever, and I'm going to exchange whatever they get. I probably will still allow them to have a few, to choose a few things. I also don't know what they're going to get. Maybe they'll get better quality candy. I also think the chocolate is probably better than the sweets in terms of just toxicity. I don't know. I'm that person. I worry about that. But gummy sweets are not good for teeth either. So they get stuck. Yeah, they get stuck in their teeth. They cause cavities, all the things. But I'm gonna exchange it for a little bit, at least to give them some sweets. My older ones are really controlled, and they will have 1 or 2 pieces of candy after dinner every night. My little one is going to be trickier. She's going to be relentless, and we're just going to have to be strong and give her 1 little lollipop or something, and then we're done. We brush our teeth, we're done. So that's how I'm approaching Halloween. I don't want to make it all about gifts. As I said, last year I had a shop and they bought a few things and I got bigger gifts, and I do have a few things we love the Yodo player. It's an audiobook little player, and so I bought a few cards. I can maybe give them 1 or 2 of those and just kind of spread it out. But this will lead me into what I'm talking about in terms of just how I'm managing gifts as a whole. So I feel like there's two camps when it comes to giving gifts. And Halloween kind of feeds into that just because of the time of year. It's basically in November, which is a month before Christmas, 2 months before Christmas. And my daughter has a birthday. So I kind of think of gifts in accumulation. So I'm buying them things now, September, October, that it's going to kind of last until the end of the giving season. I really don't try and buy a lot. My daughter will get a few gifts from grandparents and family for her birthday. And then they'll get a few things, again, for grandparents and family for Christmas. We give them a couple of things. I try and not go nuts because I give them things throughout the year. I buy them things throughout the year. They need shoes. They need new clothes. They need a new bike. There's certain things that they need that could be very appropriate books, very appropriate for birthdays and Christmas, but the timing is not always great, or the season is changing. They need a new winter coat, and I could give it to them for Christmas, but now I need it before that. There's things like that. So I kind of think of it as a whole, and I try and be really mindful about overdoing the gifts, because whenever we've done that in the past, or they've had birthday parties where they've been given a lot of gifts, it's never worked out well for us. It ends up being a lot of clutter. I feel like it's a waste. The gifts are often not like high quality. I end up donating some of them. I just think we're not mindful enough about how we choose to give to children and how we teach them about consumption. And I really think they get too much, if I'm being honest, but I try my best. I try and be aware of it. And I think just being aware, at least that makes me pause for a second. So what I've done now is I've bought a bunch of things. Like, as I said, we have a Yodo player. I've bought a bunch of Yodo cards. They are not cheap. They're also something that can be shared throughout all three children. I've bought a bunch of Lego, because even though I hate Lego, I don't like standing on the Lego, but my daughter is really into Lego. So I bought her sort of a bigger Lego for her birthday. And then I've got a few smaller ones that I might give for Halloween in exchange for their candy. Or I could put them as stocking stuffers, or I could give them as Christmas presents. And then what we're really trying to focus on are experiences. But before I want to talk about that, I want to just talk about Christmas for a second. So I go back and forth whether I want to make Christmas like a big deal, this whole Santa thing, or do I make birthdays more of like where you get like a bigger gift? And I think I've landed on like birthday maybe being more of a special way to celebrate that particular person, and Christmas is like the cherry on top, some extra stuff. As I said, they'll get gifts from other family members, small things here and there, maybe from friends or whatever. So they're not lacking. Plus, this year we're having family to stay with us. And that means that the amount of people is massively increased. And so there's going to be a lot of gifts going back and forth. There was always this thing about like, it's like the quantity of gifts, even if they're small. Like my mom always used to say, it's about how many gifts you have, in terms of like giving a child one small expensive gift doesn't like satisfy this desire to open a lot of gifts or to just have a lot, because it's more expensive. So it's like they don't, they want to open lots of things, especially when they're little. That's like part of the joy of Christmas. And I think that's why people go nuts and they just have these giant like gift hauls under the Christmas tree. And it's just like excessive. So I want to land somewhere in the middle, but I think I can leverage having other people in my home, and they're going to need gifts too. So it like looks like there's a lot of gifts, but really at the end of the day, every person is probably getting 2 or 3 things, but we're sharing in the experience of opening it, even if it's not for you. Does that make sense? Like, it's fun. Like I have joy watching them open gifts, even though the gifts are not for me. And I think there's a little bit of that too. Plus, I think they need to learn that as children. Like we're inherently self-centered, especially as little kids. We just don't really think about other people. And I'm trying to teach that. So I think I'm going to leverage the fact that I'm having family over, and we're going to have naturally a few more gifts. And that means I can give less. I'm not saying more gifts for my children, just more gifts in general for everybody being given something, just something simple. I think that'll help. So I don't have to give as many gifts. But back to experiences. So I'm really trying to hammer in this whole like experiences over presents or over things. And it is not easy, because they know that when you have a birthday party, people bring you presents. I often wonder if that's the primary reason why they want a birthday party, so that they can get gifts. I think that's a big reason, maybe not the only reason. And I'm trying to really instill this. And so as a family, we tend to spend more money on experiences than things. And it's this balance. We've tried, like last year, for example, my husband took my son to New York to go and watch tennis. And that was like his birthday present kind of thing. Does he still want something when it comes around to his birthday? Yes, he wants something very specific. But we're trying to like hammer that in, like, okay, so you can choose a birthday party or you go on a trip with just you and daddy. I think he ended up having both, but the birthday party was very low key. It wasn't anything super fancy. We didn't spend a lot of money on it. And it was like very just chilled, like your traditional birthday party. I mean, I made the cake. We were in the community pool. Like it was nothing fancy. He wanted a tennis birthday party. We asked his coach. We hired his coach to come for like an hour and do a tennis lesson with the kids. It was super low key, pretty budget friendly for what it was. Nothing like, you can spend so much money on birthday parties and hiring things. He wanted to to go to New York with my husband, but he also wanted a birthday party. So we kind of like, the New York thing was 3 months after his birthday. So we kind of did both, but we really sort of honed in on the importance of an experience. With my daughter, she didn't have an experience per se, and we did a more fancy, a slightly more expensive birthday party. Also, because I feel like she's the middle child, a lot of the time she kind of gets forgotten a little bit, and we don't do that every year. So like this year, I'm taking her on a trip to Florida, and it doesn't have to be so fancy that we have to get on an airplane, but it's just the way it worked out. If I can even get to Florida, to be honest. But anyway, we're going on a trip, just she and I, which is going to be very special, and that is going to be like her birthday present, even though it's not like right on her birthday, it's like a little bit before, and we're not doing a big birthday party. Like I've persuaded her, we're not going to do a big birthday party. Maybe she can have 1 or 2 friends over on her actual birthday, and I'll get a cake for her. She's chosen a cake she wants, nothing like crazy. That's totally fine. But we're trying really not to like do these massive explosive birthday parties. And I think going forward, we might do them one every other year. Like they can alternate who gets a birthday party, who gets a fancier or more expensive birthday party, or we can do an experience as a family. It's hard because we traveled over my son's birthday, and like, as he rightly told me, like that wasn't his choice. He had fun and he enjoyed it, but like he didn't choose the trip. We chose the trip as a family. It happened to be around his birthday. He kind of shares a birthday with a very close friend, so we almost piggybacked on his birthday. You know, they did an experience again. It was like a super small birthday party, 3 kids. But the families got together and we had like a fun day out at like a theme park, but we didn't do a separate birthday party specifically for him, you know? And it just depends like on the year and like what you've got going on with your family. Like now we're renovating our house and we've been spending a lot of money trying to do that. And like, I don't want to throw a big birthday party right now. Plus we've been traveling and we're going to travel, and it just doesn't seem like the right thing. And I don't feel like you should have to host this massive birthday party just to keep up with the Joneses, just because that's what people do. Like, we don't have to do that. Plus, my daughter's born in November, and like, it seems like a very popular month. There's so many birthday parties and everybody vying for certain weekends because it's over the holiday time. So you've taken out 2 weekends over Thanksgiving. And so then like, there's just not enough time even to have birthday parties. So again, like she will still have the experience of parties because she's going to go to them. They're just not singing happy birthday to her, but like we will sing happy birthday to her on her birthday. And like we're her family, anyway. And even last year we had family in town. We did do a birthday party with her school friends, but then we had family over her actual birthday, and it was amazing. Like we had a cake and we had people to share in, to eat the cake, because that's always the problem. Like I have this giant cake and no one to eat it. We're just trying our best. And I'm just trying to be intentional about how I celebrate their birthdays and not fall for the trap that I have to celebrate and I have to do X, Y, Z because that's what convention kind of determines or expects. Another thing that I try and do, and they don't like me for this, is that if I can, I say no gifts on their birthday, for their birthday. Because the gift is for someone to come to the birthday and share. And plus, we end up with the same issue that people just buy things randomly without maybe knowing what she likes, or it's a really tricky thing because I don't want to be ungrateful for anything that anyone's ever given us. I really appreciate it. And people are so generous. I've definitely found that. But she doesn't need all the stuff and it just clutters up our house and she doesn't end up playing with it. Now it's a little different. Like maybe they're getting older. People will give books. I know my son was given like a gift voucher, like a gift card for his birthday from like Barnes & Noble, which was really fun. And we bought books, and that's amazing. And that's great. And if you've watched my previous hacks video, I talk about giving everyone Amazon gift cards as like a contribution to their family, because I just feel like kids have so much they don't need anymore, so that's kind of where I am in terms of birthdays, Christmas, this Halloween time. I just think we have to be mindful. We owe it to our children to teach them what is really important. They're not always going to like it. And like you know that, and you have to be okay with that if you're going to pursue this route. Like they need to understand how important quality time is. They need to understand what your family values are. Our family values are spending time together, making meaningful memories, experiences over stuff. And there are going to be certain years where we can be more generous with birthday parties. There are going to be certain years where we need to be a bit more conscious, budget conscious, a bit more lean. This is definitely one of those years. Like we've bought a house, we're renovating it, we've been traveling, we spent too much money. We need to really just like rein it in a little bit. Plus the end of the year is bonkers crazy. And I don't want to be so stressed all the time. I don't want to be worried about it all the time. So I'm trying to prepare ahead of time. I've got the costumes sorted out. I've got the Halloween candy, provided I don't eat all of it before we actually have Halloween. But this is their candy for us at home. This is plenty for them. They don't need any more than that. But the act of going out and trick-or-treating and seeing what you get and like just experiencing it is important and fun and like will be memorable to them. Whether they eat all of these like horrific gummy candy things, I don't know if they'll remember all of that. Like, I think they should try things and see what they're like. Often I don't even think they're that nice personally. Just the mass-produced candy I think is so terrible for you and, you know, awful. Anyway, that being said, someone is now ringing my doorbell, so this is time for me to go. But I wanted to share this with you in case this is helpful. Let me know how you view gifts and Halloween and all the things. I can't wait to chat to you guys in the comments. And with all that said, I will see you in my next video. Bye.